So I was periscoping the other day and someone in the chat proposed a question, and it was, what if Disneyland was overrun by villains? And I was like, what if Disneyland, all in and of itself, was completely reconceptualized as being a villain's theme park? And then the gear started turning and I was like, oh my gosh, what would that mean? First things first, Sleeping Beauty Castle, immediately it's gotta go. It's gotta be replaced by Maleficent's castle. And it would be awesome to have all of the briar at the bottom with all the thorns. And it would be like uplighting with green and purple. And I think it would be amazing to have Maleficent in dragon form on top of the castle, and it would shoot out fire every so often. And I think that theming could extend down through Main Street, where Main Street looks kind of like a creepy castle. Everything would be stone and it would be like vines on stuff. Could you imagine like the visual of walking in and seeing that theme continuing all the way up to Maleficent's castle? It'd be so cool. What are some of the other popular rides in Disneyland? I'm trying to think of some things that already exist that can be kind of translated into the villain side of things. The teacups, for example. What if it was the Red Queen themed and your teacups are actually the hedgehogs? Yeah, the hedgehogs that she hits when you play croquet with her, because they obviously would spin because it's croquet. This ride I would be so pumped about. Okay, let's talk about retheming Splash Mountain, but it has to be Ursula themed because it's a water ride. But think about this, like you could have the same sort of ride system, you know, like you go through the animatronics, because how creepy are Ursula's little mermaid people that she's shrunken down? And can you imagine like animatronics of those? It'd be so scary. Sarah would like die. Instead of being in a boat, you're in a flotsam or jetsam ride vehicle, because they're long and skinny like the log flumes, and you could still climb, and like during the climb it's Ursula doing her spell. The whole outside of the ride could look like Ursula's lair, that creepy like fish skeleton thing. What is this? Why do I keep doing this? Sign me up. Sign me up. I've gone back and forth on this one, but I think if you were to take the Indiana Jones ride, that whole ride system and the interior, if it was still in an Adventureland type thing, how amazing would it be to be Lion King themed? The inside could be like Scar's themed, because there's already fire, it's already dark, you could have all the hyenas everywhere. Be Prepared would just be like pumping through the speakers, and the whole ride itself, you could be in the wildebeest stampede, because it gives it a good reason to tell the story as why you're like moving so quickly and abruptly, as you're trying to escape from Scar in the stampede. I don't know, I think it's a fun idea. I think Scar deserves a very crazy intense ride like the Indiana Jones ride. One I think is super self-explanatory, just take out Tom Sawyer's Island and just transplant Skull Rock from Disneyland Paris into this villain's park. You could still have the pirate makeovers, it'd be super fitting, but it would just be gnarly. Like, it's so great in Paris when you go to like what's the Rivers of America, but it's just Skull Rock instead. It's so good. Speaking of Disneyland Paris, they have a hedge maze that is Alice in Wonderland themed. They also have one in Shanghai, but it's a hedge maze and it has like giant animatronics and figures throughout it for you to take photos with and stuff. So instead of Alice themed, what if it was Toy Story themed, and it's a Sid maze that you walk through, and all the big figures that you see are his crazy dismembered toys that he's made, and the whole like concept is that you're in Sid's backyard. How great is that? Like, man, I should probably run a theme park. I think where the Matterhorn is, you could have some sort of Hades themed roller coaster. Keep it a roller coaster and keep it a mountain. But if it's Hades themed, then the mountain could actually be like Mount Olympus. Yeah, that's like in theming with Hades. What we really need though is to replace like Go-Go Gadget's coaster and have an Isma roller coaster, because there's actually kind of a roller coaster in Emperor's New Groove. When it comes to Cruella, I have two different ideas and I can't decide which one I like the most. Bippity Boppity Boutique is Cruella themed because she's all about fashion and being fabulous, and it would be really, really funny. And obviously the Bippity Boppity Boutique you would only get made over into other villains, because that's the point of this villain's theme park. The other idea for Cruella might be a little bit too dark, But what if the petting zoo came back and it was Corella themed? Ooh, too real, too real. Super easy for the Blue Bayou to just be overhauled to be a Dr. Facilier dining experience. And taking a note from Disney Springs, you can have just a candy apple store that is Old Hag themed, obviously because of poison apples, and the candy apples at Disney are like amazing. It's really just like having Halloween in Disney all year round. And that means we could totally just have the Hocus Pocus show all year. I need that in this park that doesn't exist. Oh, think how cute all of the merchandise would be. You could have plushies of just like Lucifer or like Iago and like the Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp. You would have such fun plushies, but they could still be like cute animals. They would just be the bad animals, you know? I am so into this idea of a villains only theme park. It would be so cool. And there's so many different things you can do with so many different characters. So leave a comment below and let me know what you would add to the Disney Villains theme park, because like Oogie Boogie needs something cool. Lady Tremaine needs something cool. So let's come together and make this crazy, amazing, scary all the time Disney park. Until next week, I'll see you then. Bye.